What's up, people? So, a little update on the parts that I stripped down from the Blackhawk Titan Hydration Pack in order to fashion some Alice shoulder pads and various other bits and bobs like sternum straps and the quick release. So, I just wanted to give you this little update because basically, not everything that I asked for came the way I expected it. And so it's a little frustrating like that. I went to the shoemakers for the shoulder pads because the webbing is quite thick to get through, 3 layers of webbing. And I asked, most notably, a U, just stitching across here, up top here, just to secure these two ends, and then down here. But instead, I got this. So I got this box stitching all across the webbing, so I didn't understand what was supposed to come out of this, because now I can't feed the load lifter through. So I'm either gonna have to unstitch this myself, but I just want to go back ASAP to the shoemakers and tell them, yo, I told you twice. Because I told her, I told her how I wanted it done, and then just before it was supposed to be ready, I checked. I went there and just to see if it was ready, and she had forgotten what I had asked, so I told her again. Really simple, and so I'm just really frustrated right now because I paid money for this, and if I have to go back and get charged again, then I'm just not gonna go there ever again. So quite frustrated. Really good stitching on the sides, so I'm really happy about that, but I'm really not happy about the box stitching. Really not happy about that. So it's one of those things where, kind of frustrating like that, because you put the money into this thing, and you put the time and the effort to find the right parts, and then they screw them up. Fortunately, this isn't a permanent mod, so this can still be fixed. The question is, I wonder if she's going to charge me again for it. I really hope not. But then for the other bits and bobs, like the quick release straps, I went to the tailors. And once again, I would say an acceptable job, but still not perfect. So, someone like me who chases perfection, it's just annoying. For example, the Velcro that I had dyed with dark green came out a bit too artificial. I ended up forgetting to dip this with the rest of the stuff that I dipped in just a light touch of cocoa brown with. But I eventually decided, no, before this gets sewn onto the webbing, I'm gonna dye it again. So I actually used one of the Swedish cup, the one for the mess kit, and I put maybe a tablespoon or teaspoon of white wine vinegar, and just a few flakes of rock salt, and literally 3 drops of cocoa brown, and it turned out all right. It turned out perfect, actually. Look at that; it matches the other one really nicely. So, so I'm really happy about that. But the thing is, it's annoying when then like I asked for the ends to be sewn in a loop, and they're almost exactly the same, but not. One loop, as you can see, is just a bit longer. So, stuff like that just annoys me a little bit. What are you up to in there, little one? Sorry for this mess, guys. My little one's in there. See? She's just like... Anyway, so a little bit annoying like that, when you think, could have been... it was such an easy job. Why couldn't they just be symmetrical, damn it? Especially because one of the straps is shorter as well, by a little bit. It was severed. That's why I had to source the Velcro from elsewhere. But yeah, just small things like that kind of just really annoy me, because I end up paying for these things, and then, you know, I get I get stuff that isn't fully what I was asking for, so I have to go back again. And this isn't the first time this happens, so it's a little annoying like that. Then what I had done is the sternum straps, and thing is, on one side, let's focus on the main sternum strap, for example, why I wasn't too pleased. So most notably the Blackhawk. There we go. Sorry, guys. The one that's stitched by Blackhawk is stitched like so. So it's folded onto itself and then stitched. And I asked for the same design to be replicated elsewhere. But instead I got this. Just a very basic thing. I have to say I didn't pay too much for the tailors, so I'm not entirely, you know, super disappointed, just because I figured whatever, for the money that I paid 10 euros for all the little bits and bobs. So pretty good price there. The shoemakers, on the other hand, was quite expensive, either 8 or 10, I don't remember, and I'm hating myself for throwing away the receipt, because now I can't remember, because there was other jobs that I included with these shoulder pads. So I ended up paying I think about 20 something euros. And so when a good chunk of that is a mess up, you know, it's just frustrating, guys. It's just frustrating. But one thing I realized here, for example, on the sternum strap, didn't really occur to me at the time, but I can cinch it from here, and even though I cinch it to the max, this is still way too long, really long. So ultimately, I'm gonna have to unstitch this side, the side for the female buckle, and fix it in place. Either have it sewn like considerably shorter, but I don't think I want to do that, for the simple reason that I'd rather have it adjustable. So I realized what I can do instead to attach it to this type of tri-glide is simply run it through and then slide a tri-glide through here, and therefore I'm able, with the tri-glide, to basically extend it as far as I need it to without all of this, because this is just way too long. So yeah, that's it, guys. I just figured I'd update you on these little jobs and the aftermath, and then hopefully next time around I'll actually get, you know, especially for the shoulder pads, the tailors, I'm just gonna leave it as it is. I'm just gonna unstitch these, find a tri-glide for this section, and that's it. But at least, that's the thing, at least I have now all the components, which is these kind of tri-glides, really hard to find actually, and I'm not really sure how to call these either. But yeah, from here I just asked for some webbing to be sewn with these ladder locks, so that's a good job. Nothing to complain there. But once again, the thing that it frustrates me is that she still did this at the end. She even asked me, "Do you want the ends to be done or anything like that?" And I said, "No, there's no need." But she did it anyway. So that's still something that annoys me, because, you know, when they just don't listen, you know, and I'm trying to explain it several different ways. It's just and I don't feel that, you know, these jobs were too hard to understand. It's just so it frustrates me, because I'm trying to convey just a really simple message and they mess it up. So that's, I guess, the purpose of this update, the purpose of this video: show you what are the pros and the cons. Like, yeah, for the most part it's all good, but you know, it's definitely not perfect. In fact, not for the most part. Let's say 50% is what I achieved of what I thought I would achieve. But shoulder pads are going to have to be redone, at least in part, you know. it's gonna have to get this box stitching out of the way. Either I'm gonna do it or she's gonna do it, and then I suppose I don't really need to, but I do want to, because if we're no, in fact, I do need to. I wanted the stitching, to include this top half, because these two flaps otherwise are just flapping, um, and it's just not as secure, not as nice, not as neat, not as strong, So again, guys, what can I say? 10 minutes already plus for this video of me rambling. I'm not entirely pleased. Let's boil it down to that. I'm not entirely pleased with the outcome of these little jobs. I'm partly pleased, but if it's gonna cost me more money, then I'm not gonna be pleased at all. So what can I say, guys? I'll keep you updated on the rest, and hopefully sooner rather than later we should have these bits and bobs in full order and functioning the way they should. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you in the next one.